like to call to order the town meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Here.
Trustee McDowell?
Here.
Trustee McKinney?
Here.
Trustee Deteen?
Here.
Chairman Neal?
Here. First item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please join me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any agenda changes this evening? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held September 18th, 2018 at 6:15 p.m.?
So moved.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Pass, because I wasn't here. Next item on the agenda is any citizens' comments? No citizens' comments this evening? Okay. Moving forward, item 7, authorized bills for payment. Trustee Deteen.
Yes, I met with the Township supervisor and assessor this afternoon, went over the bills, and would ask that my fellow trustees would approve the bills that would amount to $73,891.16.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Any questions or anything? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 8, assessor's report.
Okay, real quick, we have 2 more days of hearings. Tomorrow I have a full day of residential hearings, and Friday is a full day of commercial, which I just love commercial hearings. After that, starting next week, we'll be working on our reassessment, and we're going to try to get our books in early in June next year, so everybody will be seeing their assessment notices probably the middle of July. Good. Thank you.
Any questions or anything for Larry? Okay. Moving on to supervisor's report. A few things, just want to recognize at the city council meeting last meeting, we honored the different individuals for the Zinnias for Zion contest and had a lot of really good feedback, so thank you very much for support on that. Elf Network has begun, and the participation cards are available at the Township, the library, the school district, here at City Hall. It's for any individual that's looking for assistance for Christmas for their family that lives in Zion. When they turn in the participation card and fill out the application, the first 50 individuals that are involved will get all kinds of blessings over the Christmas holiday. Christ Community Church does an incredible dinner. We have gifts. There's gift cards. Love Inc. does a clothing gift event over at New Song Ministries, right, Pastor John? Or Mike? And a number of different things. So if anybody is interested in that, or if anybody knows of anybody, you can stop and get the cards and actually give them to people. The person doesn't have to pick up the one that they want. So I wanted to share with that. This Friday, I'm excited to share that PADS is calling for a homeless summit. So the township supervisors and other officials from across the county will be meeting and convening to talk about homelessness. I've been trying to get this to happen for quite a while, and I was really glad that Joel Williams from PADS took the lead on this, because we tend to make it a PADS problem or a township problem, and it's really a huge countywide issue. And I think the more people we get to the table to actually talk about it, the better we can do to serve the whole community. So I'll let you guys know what comes of that. Also, we're working with Mano a Mano to do a community survey to see what services the Latino community would appreciate having locally. Mano a Mano is in Round Lake, and it's difficult for people to get out there, so if there is a need for services locally, they're willing to provide those services in Zion Township. We just want to make sure that we have a case for doing that. Let's see, and just to share, there was a situation where ESL classes were being taught at Zion Elementary School District during the day, and it was open to anyone, and so it created a security issue. And so we partnered with the school district and the organization through Mundelein High School, and they are now doing the ESL classes at the Township on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm really glad to have them there in that partnership. So, and then also the LAHEAP application started this month on October 2nd. So any individual, we have the income guidelines at the Township, and I believe they're on the website. If they aren't, they will be very shortly. So the applications are for low-income home energy assistance program. The month of October is for seniors and those on disability. The month of November is for seniors, those on disability, and anyone with children 5 and under. And then December 1st begins anybody that meets those qualifications. So, please call if everybody in the household over the age of 18 has income. Then it's very simple. It's just bringing in your utility bills, your proof of income for the last 30 days, your picture IDs for everybody over 18, and everybody's social security cards. And we try to see, our limit is 22 people in 2 hours. So we hustle and get people through there. Last year, we were able to help residents to the tune of over $125,000. This year, it won't be as much because another organization went to the senior buildings. We went to 2 of the senior buildings and helped with a lot of them that it didn't work out with the other organization, but it'll still, we're hoping to get the word out to as many people as possible because we appreciate being able to provide that service. Let's see, just to share, Zion Benton Leadership Academy graduation is on November 3rd. We have Mike Priller, who worked for the Zion Park District, Veronica Smith, who owns a daycare center in town, and then Alana Whitmore, who happens to be Randy Whitmore's daughter, and she is the president of an organization in Lake County called Wings, Women Interested in Government Service. So I'm excited for their graduation. A couple more things. Coalition for Healthy Communities. If you want to be on a team, if you like to spell, they're looking for teams. They're looking for spellers to be on teams, and they were looking for people to come and just cheer it on. It has been going on for quite a while, and it is just an incredible community night. And a lot of people buy in. We've had the 3 top winners have been Congdon's Funeral Home, First Midwest Bank, and Zion Benton Public Library. So they're the top competitors for this event. So it's a really good community event. And then the last thing before I talk about 2 other things is just to share with everybody Sadie Watts, who is a legend, just one of the most historic figures in our community, is celebrating her 100th birthday on Friday, October 26th at Mount Zion Baptist Church from 5 until 7 p.m. And just really honored. We just got her moved to Rolling Hills. I just want to publicly thank Rolling Hills for their help, and it was our dream to get her moved from a Waukegan nursing home to Rolling Hills before her birthday, and they moved her in last Thursday. So Sadie had the first food pantry out of her home in this community. She started Mount Zion Baptist Church in her living room, and as Trustee McKinney shared with our summer work program kids when we went to visit her, had a huge impact on his life. If you want to share anything.
Absolutely. She was one of the parents in town that happened to be female that really had a tremendous impact on all of the young kids in terms of discipline, care. She treated everyone like they were her kids and wanted you to grow up and do the right things and be the right kind of person. And I think that's what made Zion so great back in those days, and Zion is great now, but there was a culture here in town that I know that all of us as trustees and commissioners were trying to recreate that kind of culture of helping one another, being understanding, and she started that many years ago. And I can recall walking across town, which seemed like a long way, and mowing her yard. That was one of my charges for all the good things that she did within our community.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, she's an amazing woman. So if any of you are available to attend, I'm sure they would love to have you there. And you should have gotten an invitation. If you didn't, it's probably in your box coming. So that was on the list. So and then I wanted to give a shout out. This last weekend, thanks to the city administrator, David Nabel, being on a board, Neighbor the city administrator, David Nabel, being on a board, Neighbor Badgerland, Trustee McKinney, myself, and 6 of the residents from Cubs were able to go to a Community Leadership Institute in Houston, Texas. And it was a phenomenal event, and I'm really excited for what comes from that. So do you want to share anything on that? No?
It was a great weekend, and you realize there were probably people from every state there. There were over 900 people at this conference. A lot of really intelligent people that are really invested in their communities, much like we are, and they gave us a lot of fodder for thought as we look to kind of improve our community. And one of the tasks that we have is to come up with an action plan on getting some contributions or for a contest that we're supposed to create, and some pretty good thinking amongst the group that was there. So we'll share that as we get our action plan in place.
It unfolds, yeah. You know, the other thing I just want to share is that at this event, like you said, there were hundreds and hundreds of people there, and I don't think there were more than a dozen elected officials. And a lot of the things that most of the groups were trying to overcome was how to work with the elected officials to get things to happen.
Yeah.
And they were very envious that we were there as a group, pulling in the same direction to work together to make it better. So it really stood out to every group we were with. So pretty awesome. So, and then the last thing I just wanted to share with you, we started working on the levy. And so there is a document that I put in front of you each, and let me find it. Well, and just to remind you that we have the Zion Township monthly report, and it's in your packet. It's also always on the website, and it just lists out like all of the activity, the day-to-day activity that went on for the month of September, the number of incoming calls, the number of walk-ins, where the funds were spent, just so that you can see what we're doing on a month-to-month basis. But that said, we started looking at the levy, and this is what we're looking at. For 2017, the EAV was 295,000 or 295 million. Somebody say that number for me.
87,000.
Thank you.
87,000.
And our levy was $646,631. The limiting rate was 0.220, and the maximum that we can go is 0.250. So we stayed way under that rate. And then on the general assistance, it was 250,000. The limiting rate is 0.10, and we were at 0.85. That said, we thought that the taxes for the township line items, that's all we have all we have control over, would actually still go down, and they didn't. I think mine went up like $6, and we really wanted to keep the momentum of holding. And so met with Larry and Lloyd today, and we're looking at next year. The EAV for next year is looking to be $312 million, and a couple of increases that we need to do. Larry, do you want to share with yours?
Yeah. Right now, I only have one full-time person in the office, and it's getting to the point where coverage is becoming an issue, and my days are limited here as the assessor. I'll probably be retiring in the next 2 years. So I would like to have another person in the office. And also, next year, the county is going to a completely new system, and nothing is going to be the same. The whole system is going to be different. How we do our valuing, how we look up records, and everything is going to be different. And it's all going to be web-based. Saying that, the computers that I have in my office are probably about 5 or 6 years old. So I called somebody and asked them what it would cost for 3 new computers. And to transfer everything over and to do everything, it's going to be about $4,500 for 3 new computers. So this is something that we have to have, and a part-time employee or a full-time employee is necessary at this time.
So, and then the other increase, so that would be the supervisor's office holding the same budget, Larry's increase for those 2 items. And I just want to like make it known, we went through a really, really hard time with the budget cuts. Our budget was decreased by, I believe, 45% over the last some odd years. And Larry bent over backwards and pieced together part-time employees to help us make it work. And I just want to recognize Larry for like being an incredible team player and doing that work. And I don't know how he was able to do it with doing the way he did, but I appreciate that you held on until we could come to a place where we could at least like level out.
It is time.
Yeah,
It really is.
absolutely.
I need to get somebody that can help me do the appraisal part of the work. As far as everything that else is getting done, the clerical and everything else it's fine. But this is the first year that I had to do all the hearings, I had to do all the evidence and everything, so we have to get some help in the office.
So then on top of that, the FICA I had decreased and you know been trying to we had a little bit of a surplus in there. It's to the point now where we have to. Last year we levied for 30,000. We have to go up to 6,000 more. So Larry's increase is 15,000, and then the 6,000 is 21,000. Now this is just a first view, right? We're going to go through the budget and see where where we can peel back a little bit. But I just wanted to put this out as a first. And if you look at with that, so our limiting rate actually went down. Last year it was 0.220. This year it'll be 0.212. And then last year for the GA fund it was 0.85, and this year it's 0.081. So. And so we are going down compared to what the EAV is and what we're asking for. It's less than we were last year. And I asked Larry if there's any way that he can tell if we were to go for this, if our taxes would go down or stabilize because the EAV is going up. And he said that he will look at it and see if there's any way that he can do a best guess to figure out what that would be.
In theory, when the assessed value goes up, the tax rate should go down. That's
Right.
in theory.
Right. Right.
So we'll make sure that happens.
And it is the reassessment year, so we are going to be gaining a lot of new value with just revaluing everybody. So I do see an increase in the EAV. I wish we could get some big commercial buildings, some big industrial building. That would help us out, but the values are still continuing going up.
So I would love to be able to, we have never actually done the levy in November. We usually do it in December, and then Cheryl's had a fast turnaround deadline to be able to get it all in. So if, I'll look at this a little bit more and I'll let you guys know, and then if you guys want to come in individually, we can just sit down and go through stuff and I can answer any of your questions. We can do that. Sound good? Do you have any other questions or what specific information you might want when we do that? Just because we don't actually do the line item by line item budget right now, right? We just try and figure out what we're going to need, which it's so backwards that we do it that way, but it's the system.
It really is.
So-
I guess I'd really like to see the levy flat. So, this indicates an increase, but if we can look at the town fund or other funds, or the general systems fund, to make the levy flat, that's what I would shoot.
So to make the levy flat,
Well, if the need is to increase staffing in the assessor's office, and we have to increase in FICA, and that actually ends up increasing our levy and having the tax rate go up, then I would want us to look in other funds to see what we can reduce.
and that would be the question for Larry to find out, is if it would indeed go up, or if it would not. So yeah. So that would be good. But we'll look at all of that and see what we can come up with. Anything else anybody wants me to check out based on that? Okay, cool. Is there anything else to come before the town board?
I did have a question as I'm going through the township updates, as you're reading about some of the operations. Mano a mano. Again, explain what they do.
So they're an organization that started in Round Lake. It actually started with the mayor of Round Lake
Yeah.
and the police chief. because a lot of the Latino community needed resources and they did not have access to those. So it means hand in hand in Spanish. You knew that. And
See?
and so they provide all kinds of services from connecting people with health services, going through the when you have to choose which of the health plans you're going to go for. They do immigration services. They do ESL classes, different services to be able to help residents with those things.
The reason I asked that question, I had this thought, as I do when I read stuff sometimes, is it's a service that helps the Latino residents.
Mm-hmm.
Could part of that, since the numbers have increased, could part of that, what they do also would help some of the, like, English-speaking residents learn how to speak Spanish?
I will definitely.
think-
I'm going to
I
be
think-
meeting with Lourdes, and I will ask her if that's an opportunity.
I think just looking at things, it could be kind of kill two birds in one stone with having that kind of line of thinking.
Yes, I will definitely check with them. I think that would be a great idea.
That was it. The other stuff I can just... And I also saw that we had the township staff had emergency drill training.
Yes.
In the future, I think it'd be great if even some of us, the trustees, maybe attend some of that. I think that would be very educational for everyone
Excellent.
to know that, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have that. We actually brought in Rex, a couple months ago, we had passed the different procedures that we would do, and so they're part of our employee manual. And we went through and first we sat and talked about like some of the different situations that if they were to come up, how we would handle it. He made some recommendations for, because we don't have like an emergency button with the, with the police department or different things. And we made a list of some of the, things that we could do to up that. But we agreed that, we did a walk around, and if somebody were to come in the front door that was an active shooter situation, we all recognize that Grace would probably not fare well, but what could everybody else do in those situations? And, recognizing that we could get out windows and that we would, where we would all meet, and, looking at the basement as a place for safety, for different situations. We have the computer monitor, the camera monitors are downstairs. So it was a really good, just a presence of mind conversations about what we would do to be able to manage if those things happen. So. Sure. I appreciated bringing Rex in, and Rex is actually, he was in, I think it was the 1994, he was actually involved in somebody coming in and actually shot and killed 26 people on the Air Force Base and in the military compound, and he had to, help with a lot of that situation. So he's got some real life experience, and so it's a passion of his, not just a job, to do that work. So he's the individual that he used to be my case manager years ago, and then he got transferred to Hawaii for the Navy, and he came back and he's doing the HR for us. So I'm really glad to be able to have him on the team as a part-time person. So yeah, so if there's any need for any of that kind of work, in any of the other departments.
Yeah, I wonder if we've had that training at City Hall. It's kind of a shame sometimes that we have to think along those lines, but these are things that are happening in our society, and we have to try to be as prepared as possible as citizens, and of course with our employees that are at City Hall and at the Township.
Yeah. I know my employees felt much better that I made it a point to take up a staff meeting and have that conversation, because it's the things in the back of your head, and at least going through and practicing now, it gives you an opportunity to have thought it through instead of not knowing how to handle it when it comes up. So thank you for bringing that up. It was a good thing. So it was on my list for the year. I was just impressed we actually got to it, because a lot of times that stuff, it's important, but it's not urgent, and there's so many other urgent things. So that we were able to get done. So let me just peek at that. So we're going to be closed for holidays. And well, just to share with everybody, we now have a maintenance guy at the township. We've never had one, and talk about getting things, the building's 10 years old, so it's important for some of the things too. And that's another thing, we just celebrated the 10-year anniversary of the building on October 1st, moving in, so time goes really fast. But Victor Augusto, was hired. His wife works at Hair Illusions in Zion. His mom lives in town. He graduated from Zion Benton Township High School. He just got married on his birthday, October 13th. And so he actually lives in Waukegan, but he is certified in home inspection, electrical carpentry, and he has his own business. And so he's just doing part-time for us, taking care of things. So it's been a really, really positive situation, and we appreciate him very much.
Mike,
What?
Mike and I could probably take a visit to Hair Illusions.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why you brought that up.
I've
wow.
actually gone into barber shops and sat down and asked for a haircut.
What can you do for me?
Right?
So what?
Both of you guys going together would be even funnier. Oh my gosh, so we're gonna be closed for Thanksgiving on November 22nd and 23rd, and then for Christmas, December 24th and 25th, and then New Year's, December 31st and January 1st. We're actually bumping back. We usually do a staff retreat where we shut down the office and we do a review of last year, what our plans are for next year, how we can improve in January, but I decided to bump it back and do it on December 14th this year. Best reason being because we'd always like close the office for a couple hours for Christmas, and then we would in January, and I was like, we're just gonna do it all at once so that it's less hours that we're lacking down the office. So it's gonna be on December 14th that we will be shutting down and doing that work. So just to let everybody know about that. And that's all I have. Is there anything else to come before the board? Yes, sir.
Ma'am, it was on the 10th of November in 1775, a Continental Congress authorized Captain Samuel Nicholas to raise 2 battalions of seagoing soldiers to be known as Continental Marines. Ever since that date, every United States Marine everywhere has claimed the 10th of November as his or her birthday. The 10th of November will be before the next Township Board meeting. Therefore, ma'am, I respectfully call upon the Township Supervisor to send appropriate birthday greetings and felicitations to the Commandant of the Marine Corps, Headquarters Marine Corps, 8th and I Street, Southeast, Washington, D.C. I thank you, ma'am, for your time, your courtesy, and your consideration of this matter.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Mr. Bremner. Is there anything else to come before the Township Board? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Fisher?
Aye.
Trustee McDowell?
Aye.
Trustee McKinney?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Meeting adjourned.